Today I want to talk about those that are confused about what path to take in business, okay? And a lot of people that I talk to ask this question. In fact, this comes up a lot, and I want to start a dialogue, a conversation with this. What I find is the ones that I really need to hear the most from on this topic are silent on it because they are embarrassed to not look wrong or sound wrong or say the wrong thing or ask the wrong question. So right out of the gate, I want to invite you to ask questions in this video, in the Grow Your Life community that I have as well. Then I may ask some more questions so we can create a dialogue to help people know how to find what path to take in business. This is not one size fits all, and that's the problem with this is most people are looking for a one size fits all model. For you to find what path to take in business, it's individual for you. Up to this point, maybe you've been looking for somebody to tell you what you should be doing. If you followed me for a long time, you realize I am trying to unprogram people from doing just what they should be doing. In fact, I would love for you watching this to stop doing what you should be doing at all costs and doing what you were made for. And those are generally not the same thing. And so to find the path of what you were made for, it's genuinely and generally very different than what everybody else around you has been telling you you should be doing. And if other people's opinions dictate your actions in your life, that's why you're stuck, because then you're going to hear confusing, opposite, opposing opinions on these things. So first off, don't even take what I say as a should be doing, but I want you to take a look at this. Maybe those things are what is confusing you, okay? Next, it comes from not knowing who you are, okay? And not knowing yourself well and taking ownership over your choices. Now, I've talked to a number of people that are successful in business, and they have massive success, millions of dollars, and yet they still don't know who they are. They don't know why they do what they're doing, and they're still confused as to what path to take, and other people's validation decides that for them. And so I want to encourage you, if you can get this down from the beginning, it will save you so much trouble in the long run to understand your identity and who you are. Every problem and confusion that comes from not knowing what path to take in business, what you should be doing, comes from a place of not knowing your identity and knowing who you are. Okay? Now, there are so many things on that topic. Many people say, I know who I am, I just don't know what I should do. If you knew who you were, you would already know what you should do. So the indicator of you not knowing what you should do defines the fact that you don't know who you are. And that is the indicator, because the should do no longer becomes that. Should do just comes from opinion versus what you were made for is an assignment, what you were called to do. It's not just that this is what other people say I should do or is the right thing for me. The problem that comes from this is that validation from other human beings has defined who you are for so long. And when other people's opinions about your worth, your value, and what you do and should do define your actions, you are confused and you lose your identity completely. You are at the whim of what other people think about you, and they mold you into the image of you that they wish that you could be. And that's where that confusion comes from, of not knowing what path to take in your business, is allowing the opinions of other people to do that. You know, if you allow other people to invalidate you or validate you, you can be easily manipulated to do anything. And that's what has led you up to this point if you're somebody that is confused as to what path to take in your business next. And this is really taking ownership over the fact that I don't know who I am. If you can take ownership over that fact, then we can get started moving forward and then realize what we were made for, what our purpose is, what our calling, and what our destiny is. Okay? So that's really what that is. If you're confused as to what path to take in business, it comes from a lack of real identity and knowing who you are. And so what I would love to do is start a conversation. You ask me questions directly. Ask questions. Don't even ask if you can ask questions. Just ask the questions. And then I can help answer those. And we can make a podcast. We can start a dialogue together back and forth to help define and even help, almost like a treasure hunt. I would love to, I used to read Sherlock Holmes books, mystery novels as a kid. And it was like a detective type thing. And so what it is that I love to hear from people, listen, and understand what other people are going through. And so in this conversation, we have the Grow Your Life community. You can DM me, you can leave it on the live, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then we can start to have that conversation. And what I want to do is this. I want to start to create materials, my podcast, these videos to help you reach your goals. And so whatever you're comfortable with, just let me know. I want to help you get this. I want to help you know who you are. And then that will help remove the confusion as to what path to take. You know, I've been somebody for so long, I didn't know who I was. And I was confused as to what path to take all the time. Okay? And so what fixed that for me was knowing who I was and becoming clear and confident in that, to where no human being's opinion could tell me otherwise. No human on the planet Earth can say, that's not you, you're this. I know who I am. And so in that, when you're confident in that place, you can go forward, you can move forward towards your calling and your destiny. And now, instead of you choosing a path, there is a purpose that you are working towards. And that's the first step of this. So if you're confused as to what path to take, it's defining who you are, removing validation as your only reason for doing things, and then trusting the process and walking forward with faith, taking risk, doing the scary things with one foot in front of the other that feel uncomfortable. And that will help you grow into who you were made to be. I have a question coming in right here. It says, Max, I'm from Amsterdam, have quite a rough childhood. Didn't do good in school. I'm not understanding what he's saying here, but I'm not doing jobs where I don't need to anyways. Ask me that question in the DM, write me, let me know how I can help you. He's asking, is joining the Army a good way? If that's what you want to do, then sure. I can't tell you that for you. You have to stop letting other people's opinions validate what you should or shouldn't do and choose for yourself. You see, a choice and a decision are not the same thing. A decision looks at two paths and weighs the pros and cons. And if that's how you decide things in life, pros, cons, make decision on X, A, or B, you are letting comparison dictate things instead of coming from a place of choice, which comes from identity. You're solid in who you are, what you were made for, and you're choosing the path, even if all of the cons are there. Even in the face of it failing, you choose that path. And that's the difference between choice and decision. So grow your life, everybody. I love this conversation. Valerie says, I don't want to go back to a career that I dislike, but I'm struggling financially. Of course, my family says I should, but the idea of that almost makes me sick. Well, if the idea of that almost makes you sick, that defines the fact that you should not do that thing based on the pros and cons. And so that comes from your family's opinion is defining your choices in your life. And it has for a very long time. Yeah, if the Army gets you a degree and that helps you, that's great. So what it is you have to make a choice for your life, not based on what other people's opinions are. They mean well. People mean well. They don't want to harm you, but they don't know what goes on up here. So you have to get to know yourself and then choose and declare where you're going and then walk it out from that place, starting there. And for me, that starts from just knowing who I am, that God created me with a purpose, and then walking out that purpose towards my calling and destiny. Grow your life, everybody. We'll talk soon.